Hey, I'm Orla from your Women's Gear Review channel, and today we are comparing the Bellroy Laneway versus the Lite belt bags. So, Bellroy are a brand that I've definitely become a bit more fond of, especially since getting a pup. I have to say that these two slings have been lifesavers for that kind of scenario. I find that with crossbodies sometimes, or even like a wee handbag, is kind of like leather based and it's very boxy and it doesn't really suit. This is nice because there is flexibility to it and they are quite small and petite, so you just can carry things that you essentially need, such as, well, when I'm thinking about my pup, put bags, snacks, and then having my own essentials such as keys, wallets, and my phone. So Bellroy do offer a 3-year warranty, returns, and worldwide shipping. Okay, let's get cracking on with the comparison. So the Lite belt bag is priced at £45, whereas the Laneway is priced at £65. So for the materials and the makeup of each of these little belt bags, the Lite is made from durable, water-resistant ripstop fabric made from 100% recycled materials, and the Laneway is made up of durable Mypan ocean region fabric, so 50% fishing nets and 50% recycled post-industrial nylon. The dimensions for the Lite are 11.5 by 16 by 5.5 in centimeters, and then for the Laneway it is 13.5 by 25 by 5.5 centimeters. They are both pretty lightweight, weighing under a pound. So for the liters, for the Lite here it is a 1.8 litre, and for the Laneway it is a 2 litre. For the Lite, the colours come in black, grey, ash, clay, and moss, and then for the Laneway you've got fawn, sea kelp, and ink. A thing to note is that the Lite is 3 times more lighter than all of their other fabrics. So in terms of the shape and style, there is a bit of an obvious shape difference here. The Laneway is a bit longer, whereas the Lite is a bit more compact. The materials is what set them apart. I would say that the Laneway is definitely easier to clean, whereas the Lite, it does hold a bit more dirt to it, and you can kind of see here that it kind of picks it up if you can pick it up on camera, and it just takes a bit more effort to kind of care for this and clean it. It's doable, I'm just lazy. The Laneway has a bit more obvious shine to it, where the Lite has a matte finish, heading towards the kind of crinkle effect that they are known for within their kind of backpacks. I don't know if the camera will actually pick it up, that one just on there. Their transit pack, that kind of wrinkled effect that you kind of get with their backpacks. This is sort of that style. Not quite, but sort of. They have both been great, to be honest. My partner and I just use these quite easily to pick up, take the pup out for a walk. It's just quite easy to just chuck everything in. He will mainly use this one, the Laneway one, and this is kind of my go-to. I would say though, if you had the opportunity, you'd probably go for this one. This is definitely my favorite out of the two. I just feel like the Lite belt bag, just in terms of preference, it's a bit more appealing to me between the kind of the PU coated zips, whereas in comparison this one doesn't have that sealed onto it, and that's just kind of my preference for any kind of backpack or even a belt bag or a sling, is those seamed tapered type zips. So it just means for weather resistance, especially in the country that I am in. It rains 99.9% of the time. So they both have YKK zippers and Wuxin hardware. As mentioned with the Laneway one, they have opted to not place the coat in on that, which I would have preferred a bit more, because with the belt bag then you have that extra security here on the front. But what I can appreciate on the back of the Laneway is that they've implemented this kind of like secret pocket where there is a bit of flap of material, so you can kind of implement that and make it a bit more hidden. They have made a little bit more of an effort with Lite on the custom pillars. I mean, I say effort because they've literally just put a tog on here, but I find that a bit more effort than the ones that they've implemented onto the Laneway one. I definitely prefer that tog, and also the fact that they've implemented those 2 little side parts onto the Lite, so you can kind of pull that tog through there and keep in line with the sleekness. So in terms of the branding, they have some here on the front for both. This has like a different kind of style. It's kind of a little bit risen, whereas this is just completely flat. They are well put on, so I would be wary of this here one maybe kind of falling off over a long period of time, whereas this one feels a bit more durable. In terms of the hardware though, they have both implemented the little owl here onto the hardware, which is nice. That's just kind of like their subtle way of branding. And then on the inside for both of them, they have their own kind of like motivational speeches inside. In terms of the straps, so with the Lite here, you do have a little bit of a rougher kind of seatbelt material. They have gone ahead and implemented a dangle stopper onto this one. So you can kind of adjust that little strap so it's not just flapping about whenever you have implemented it into place. This is kind of this one, as you can kind of see. And then in regards to the Laneway one, it has a little bit of a shine to it, similar to the kind of coating here on the front. It's a little bit silkier and smooth on that kind of material, but that doesn't have like, in terms of the system here, so they're kind of different where it doesn't have a dangle stopper because it all kind of falls into itself, whatever way you're kind of maneuvering it, which is handy enough, but both of them kind of remain intact and in that kind of sleek mode where nothing's just dangling about. They both have this system here where it is a magnetic close, which is grand as well. It's really secured. I'm just of preference of the kind of clickable closes at the minute. And what they both have is kind of like loopholes here. If you could or wanted to try and fit anything through, then you could go ahead and do that. Obviously the Laneway one is slightly bigger. So moving on to the front of the pockets, let's start with the Laneway here. If you open this up, here are these kind of custom pillars, making it super easy. Then inside you have two pockets. Now they're not padded or anything, they are quite flimsy, but they have a bit of structure here at the top. Then inside is the rest of your space, as you can kind of see. Then inside the Lite you do have no pockets, but you have like a little bit of mesh here that kind of acts like a pocket, so you could place for organization, you could have stuff in there and like kind of compromise it there that way. But inside again is just simply space. They both have that easy clean style kind of material, so it's just easier to wipe down. Also with the bright interiors, that's always appreciated. So they both have key lashes that aren't detachable. They're both similar here. This one on the Laneway one is more of kind of like a gatekeeper system here. That kind of clip, like so. And then onto the Lite, it is a bit more of a plastic feel to it, so this would probably be a bit more durable than this one would be. Then that's kind of really them for their little spaces on the front pocket. They both have back pockets. For the Lite here, this is encoded. It does have a different custom kind of pillar here. Inside is just space. It's handy enough if you wanted to place your passport in there, then it kind of fits in nicely as well. Or if you had your phone, then you could maybe possibly fit it in there, guess dependent on the size. Then for the Laneway, as mentioned, this kind of pocket is hidden, which is nice. And inside here is just a similar kind of style. It has space. The pocket does run up to the top here. There's a bit more space in this here pocket to play with, so you can kind of fit a bit more into that. The Laneway one definitely has a bit more padding in comparison to the belt. It's a bit more easier in that sense, like they've gone ahead and implemented some padding, so then when it is up against your body, you do feel that. Whereas this is a bit thinner, so you might start to feel whatever you have in there kind of hit your body. Not that it's uncomfortable, you just might feel it a bit more than you would on this one. Here we have some everyday kind of use equipment and things that I would use and put into my kind of belt bags. I want to see what we can get into both, just to give you a bit of a rough idea of how much you can pack into it. So let's start with the Lite. I do like to place my passport and phone in there, like so. You do still have a little bit more room if you wanted to place anything else in there too. Let's get that closed. Then on the inside, I do like to use the key lash for this, so it's just easier to kind of pull from instead of digging around and knowing, okay, my keys are on the end of that. There you go. I like to put my purse in. You could even place your purse in the back just to give you a bit more room if you wanted to. There, like that. See, it kind of does eat into the spaces, so just be aware of that. Then I like to place my lip balm in there, just to give you a bit of an idea. That's in that. Then I know it's there. Then my tripod, I like to place in there. Depending if I take this camera or the smaller one, you can go ahead and just place that in there if you wanted to, and then that just kind of takes up most of the space, so you couldn't really fit the other bits and bobs in there. So if I'm shooting, then I will use that, but if it's just like everyday kind of out and about, then I won't pack in those two items. Might have some spray. Most of the time I won't, but I'll just show you it with that in there. Some money, if you feel safe, you probably could put that in that little mesh compartment so you know that's in there. Some poo bags for the pup. Got a hair bobble, mirror, lip balm, and then my charger, which is an awkward charger. If you have that one that folds down, it's a bit easier to kind of get that in there. And then that's that. So the only two things really were these two, and you can often play about. Okay, moving on to the laneway. Open this up, got some space. Let me start by putting my keys on this. You do have some organization in there you could opt to use if you wanted to. Did forget about my lip balm, always have that. So place some of that in there. Let's go for my purse in that section. Will that close? It's just a bit of an awkward size. If I do that, then it's fine. Like so. Place that in there. If you wanted to, you could go ahead and use this. I don't think that's gonna fit. You would have to do. So take out the spray. Put in this and then this, and you could possibly fit. It's just going to take away from the shape of the bag, if you know what I mean. It kind of forms to it a bit more, so I would just opt to have that if I'm having those two in there. I don't want to clonk it out anymore, so let's eliminate those two and pack it up like so. There we have it. Then you could, if you needed to place little smaller items, you could do that as well. And then this back pocket is great then for ID and for your phone. You can see this kind of takes more to the shape of the items that are in there, so just be aware of that. So we are going to go into a wee fit check, comfortability for both, and just see how they feel on the female body. So the Lite belt bag, you can of course wear it on front, adjust it how you need. You don't obviously have to have it this high. You can have it down a bit lower. There is a bit of a dangle stopper, so you can implement that so you're not having that just flapping about like so. I do prefer to have it swung around the old back. Just for a bit of reference, I am 5'6". I might like that a bit higher, like so. And then if you implement that dangle stopper, it just makes all the difference. It does kind of curve around the girls. I've not got much girls, so it kind of just slopes off. But if you did have more of a girl here, then it would curve around that. I don't know how people feel. Let me know down in the comments if you are someone with a bigger chest area. Do you like slings and how they curve around the old boobies or not? I prefer it on the back like that. Of course, in the name, it is belt bags. I'm assuming that's what they mean, like a bum bag or a fanny pack. You can go ahead and do that. Just really easy to be hands-free with this. Let me sort this out and get back to you. What I do love is that there is so much material for you to kind of play about with. If you wanted to bring it up to your waist, then you could. If you wanted to bring it down to your hip, then you can as well. Sorry, I'm just implementing that dangle stopper so it's not flapping on about. There we go. This is probably the only leader that I would like to have this on this kind of position, because anything bigger, it just looks weird. Then moving on to the laneway, you can kind of curve it on round as well. This is a bit of a silkier, smoother experience with this seatbelt material, whereas that is a bit more rougher. You can kind of play about with your own build and height. There is no dangle stopper on that, but it doesn't need one because it all kind of seamlessly goes into one another. I do, as mentioned, prefer to have it like this. And then you can swing her on around the front as well. I'm so sorry if that mic keeps glitching because I keep hitting it. And this is what it's like. You can bring it on down, plenty of material to work with. Then you can bring it on down to your waist, hips, whatever you want. This is nice as well, actually. This is quite compact. The two of them aren't overwhelmingly like chunky, so I actually don't mind it here. This is kind of a shout. I actually might start wearing it like that. I always forget that they can go into that kind of mode. I'm used to just swinging it around here when I could just be like, bam. For the water test right now, see with the whole seatbelt material, that is just going to take a bit longer to dry. It does dry quite fairly quickly. This has a bit more of a shine to it with the Laneway, so it kind of doesn't soak as much as it would with this kind of material. Nonetheless, they both dry kind of similarly. I would say this one, the water runs off fairly easily. They both do. Just being aware of these kind of zips here. This one isn't coated on the Laneway, whereas the belt bag is coated. So I just prefer using this one just for that added protection here of that top zip. So that is the end of our comparison. If you did enjoy this comparison, then why not go ahead and join the GBO community and hit that subscribe button. If you do happen to have a wee gander on their website and you're thinking about purchasing any of these little belt bags or any of their other bags over on their website, then we would be forever grateful if you could use the links below. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.